We're back with our dear, dear friend, style editor Bobbie Thomas. And as we all know, she lost her husband, Michael, 2 years ago.
We love you, Bobbie.
We love you, BT.
Thank you. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that there's no roadmap to navigating grief. And as I reflected on the big feelings I still carry and acknowledge how much life there is left to live, I decided it was time to sit down with some of those who have made me feel seen and have given me strength. We talked about love, loss, and looking forward.
I just think of all those people out there that are still not feeling seen.
Yeah.
And it's the only reason to do this. It's about all of us and changing the conversation around grief.
Grief is something each of us knows well. Kathie Lee Gifford gracefully carried loss after the passing of her husband Frank Gifford in 2015 and has looked to faith to forge a path forward. Little Big Town's Kimberly Schlapmen lost her husband Stephen Rhodes to a heart attack in 2005. With time, she grew open to love again and has since married longtime friend Stephen Schlapmen. And Lynn Harless, who I first met through her son Justin Timberlake, has been a guiding light and dear friend since we met on an NSYNC tour bus back in the 90s. Lynn's husband Paul has been living with dementia for nearly a decade. It was a text she sent me after my return to the show that first inspired me to gather these women as we grow through grief. Lynn wrote,
Dear Bobbie, it feels like you see me. Feels like you created this new segment for those of us who wake up every day and struggle to put on our happy faces, so the ones we love don't see our anguish. I try to push my grief down every day while I am here, walking through it and missing the intimacy of just a conversation or a touch. People don't know how to act around Paul. They keep their distance. It makes the loneliness so dark and, if possible, even more sad. How do you do it every day?
You take all the little moments that you can get. He knows everything that's going on around him. He just has, he doesn't speak anymore very often. I want to take every opportunity and make the most of every day.
What do you want other people to know?
Just be there. Show up and be there. Makes all the difference.
And Kathie, I am one of an entire population that watched you so gracefully share with us losing Frank.
Everybody says, I'm so sorry you lost your husband. And I remember saying, I didn't lose him. I know right where he is and who he's with.
And Kimberly, you radiate kindness. I look at you and I see, what you've been able to do living the rest of your life.
Everything you're feeling is completely normal. People said to me, everything's going to be fine. You're going to love again. You're going to have babies. I didn't believe it, and I did not want to believe it.
It's a very confusing space.
It's very
confusing. Feel like I'm two people at the same time.
Yeah, I think you do it day to day. You put one step in front of the other, and you have the most beautiful gift in your son. I thought I would never love again. We were married for 14 years, and for about 12 of those years, I desperately wanted a baby, and it never happened. And when he was gone, I was almost mad at God that he hadn't given me a child from this man. My now Steve, he was our stage manager on a tour. He just pulled me out of the deepest, darkest, blackest hole, and I began to love again. We finally got married, and on our honeymoon, after all those years of trying to have a baby before, we got pregnant. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that my Steve went to God and he said, please give this woman as my gift what she's always wanted. And so my Daisy happened on our honeymoon. This is my first Steve's ring, and it's a ruby, and it was passed down in his family. But this is my Daisy's birthstone, and it's just like those little gifts that God gives us.
God winks.
God winks. Yes, Kathie Lee Gifford. As I sit here fully restored, I'm never going to forget laying in my closet floor, spent because I was looking at my husband's clothes. And I think that brings purpose to our loss, because then we can come to you and say, you are going to make it. There is love out there. There is life out there.
Be kind to yourselves. Don't judge yourself so harshly, because you do that. You're hard on yourself.
How do you know you're ready?
For me, it was being able to work out my grief and my sorrow creatively. I wrote the movie Then Came You. She's holding her husband's ashes in a candy box, and she says, I love you, Fred, and I always will. But I've got to make new memories, or the old ones are going to kill me. And I'm not ready to die, not yet. And I think that is something we can be proactive about. You'll know when you're ready just to get out of the house and go to with friends someplace. And then more and more, you know, you start to meet people. Don't lock yourself away. Open yourself to the possibility of it. I went out on a couple of dates that were just disasters. I hadn't been on a date in 33 years. But Brett James and I wrote a song for the movie. It goes, you don't find love, love finds you in the midst of a moment, right out of the blue.
Totally snuck up on me out of the blue. I never expected it. I never believed it could happen. And then it did.
My in-laws, they're incredible. And they've so selflessly said, especially his dad, he's like, you know, whatever comes, we're here. How do you even think about bringing someone new in and love? And so, hey.
You'll know.
They're not going to come knock on your door.
They're not knocking on my door.
Yes, they are.
You're lined up.
I don't know. He's impossible to replace.
I know.
You're not replacing him.
He cannot be replaced.
No,
Yeah.
no, you know.
And the person, if he comes along, will understand that more than anyone. He won't try to replace him.
Absolutely. And that, if it's the right man, that will be his philosophy.
Yeah, that's a sign.
Yes.
I already see the board here. Just like, why do they have to address these things?
But he's gonna have to come through us.
Michael lives on in Miles. It's not over.
And you're not moving on. You're moving forward.
Yep. You're not leaving anything behind. You're taking it all with you.
Taking it with you.
Keep all the gorgeous memories. Just make new ones.
Yes.
Oh, God, Bobbie, that was the most heartfelt, beautiful conversation. The common thread was like a wow.
Just want to share those ladies and those thoughts with everybody who has been here for me and everyone else out there carrying loss, or if you're not, just to know what that is like.
You just showed us hope in there. Yeah. In all the grief, you showed us hope.
You know who showed me hope? Michael. Michael, because you really understand that being loved is greater than anything. And Michael's love showed me that a great love can change your life. It really can. And so, of course, you want to make room in your heart. I have a life left to live with Miles. And so especially for him, Michael is irreplaceable. But that's magic.
All of the beauty that is in Michael is in Miles and is still in you. Have you started thinking if you'll ever be ready to open your heart again? I mean, these women were giving you such beautiful advice.
And I think, like what I just said, that experience with Michael has probably given me the most hope to make room in my heart for what's next, especially for Miles. We have so much life left to live, and this is just part of our story.
And the love that you, I hope, feel from everybody, from those women, from us, from your beautiful son.
Yes.
Is a beauty and a gift that not everybody gets.
Grief is the other side of love.
Sure.
So whenever you feel sad and you're crying, it's weird how you sort of simultaneously, I just told Maria Shriver this the other night on the phone. I said, it's almost odd that you feel at the same moment, wow, the gratitude that you had something so big that would cause you to feel so much. And I think, don't we all just want to feel?
Yes.
Isn't that the whole point right now? Like,
that's
everything. I just want to feel. And so I want whatever life has left for me to feel and to be there for other people.
Well, you are
already doing it,
and
Bobbie.
we adore you.
We do adore you. I'm just picturing people watching this going, me too, me too.
You just want to feel.
No, we
Love you,
adore
Bobbie.
you.
We'll be back coming up right after this.
Bobbie, that was